Yo, what's up, vlog? How's it going? Long time no see. I've just been doing all my conditioning, since the last time I posted. So of like 5 or 6 days in a row, you know how it is? Well, anyway, I just got back from St. Louis a couple days ago, and I have been training since. My lovely mother was my coach for yesterday's practice. So I did about 2 hours in dryland and about an hour or so in the water, and it was fun, but I didn't record any of it because I had an actual coach for a change for a practice, which was fun. So anyway, back to work now, and let's see how the video goes. I also filmed a bunch of stuff while I was in St. Louis for Sam's 20th birthday, and so either I posted that last video or I'm gonna post this video, not sure yet, but anyway, I hope you enjoyed that stuff, and we're gonna keep going. What's up, vlog? We've officially made it to St. Louis's Arch. It's quite beautiful. I've never seen it like this close before. I've seen it on like the highway to get here, but it is pretty cool. And now I'm gonna do the backflip challenge for the Instagram page. So, all right, here we go. Backflip number 1 at the first monument on the trip. All right, next monument. Okay, guys, I did not realize how tall this thing is. Like from the highway, it does not look that tall. Just like pan up and you can see like that thing is gigantic. And I'm gonna go touch the wall. Let's see if it feels like a big mammoth of a thing. Watch your step, guys. All right, watch it. Okay, this looks like actual metal. Do you guys hear that? That thing's thick all the way through. That's thick all the way through. Okay, if I was Spider-Man, could I climb up this? Probably. Let's see it from the top. I'm gonna try to go up there. I'm gonna go all the way up there. We'll see you at the top. Yo, what's up, vlog? I'm currently in South Bend, and now I'm gonna go all the way to St. Louis in less than a second. Are you ready? 3, 2, 1. That was pretty quick. I don't know. Bunny, what do you see?
I see slow.
It's pretty high. All right, what's up, vlog? We are at Gordon Ramsay's restaurant in St. Louis, and it hasn't been the perfect experience. We had reservations at 7:45. It is currently about 7:55 and no table. So what's that all about? Don't know. But the outdoor seating is kind of nice out here, but it's a little bit rainy, so I doubt we'll be out here. But it's got a nice view of the arch, and we'll see how the dinner goes. All right, what's up, vlog? We've officially found probably the best ice cream spot in St. Louis. It's called Clementine's. If you're in the area, hit them up. Best ice cream I've had in probably 6 to 8 months, so good job. Oh, yo, what's up, vlog? We've made it to the Cathedral campus at St. Louis. This is where their big boy church is. And as you can see, it is quite large. Yo, what's up, vlog? Welcome back to another video. And to be honest with you, I filmed yesterday's practice. I filmed yesterday's dryland, and then I went to the water and realized that my camera was completely dead. And so, yeah, I kind of scrapped yesterday's whole training vlog. But at least I know what I'm going to show you today because I did it all yesterday. And what I want to show you is, actually, I'll clip to what I was explaining it yesterday. All right, EJD squad, before I get into the rest of today's video, I wanted to take a second and jot down some ideas I had of how to make diving dryland better. Because after watching some gymnastics practice, I realized how much skill breakdown they have and different stations to get them ready. So I'm gonna try to make stations and try to make circuits for myself to make my dryland a little bit better. So I'm gonna take down a bunch of different elements and try to create like little individual things that can benefit each specific dive. So we're gonna see how well that works. I'm gonna take about maybe 20 minutes to write down some of these ideas for each of my dives, and then we'll go from there. All right, I just finished the lists of what I think would be a cool circuits ideas for these vols. So I just wrote out a nice list for only like front vols, back vols, reverse vols, inward vols, and I'll probably do twisters sometimes later. But it took me about 30 minutes to write out these lists of what I think would be a good idea. And I'm gonna type these up and I'm gonna put them in the description, or a link to them in the description of all the circuits that I made. And I'm gonna show you guys what I created in my lists for
right now. I'm actually gonna do all of the exercises right now. I have no idea how long it's gonna take, no idea the correct number of reps it's supposed to be, no idea break intervals, no idea anything of that. And I don't even know if it'll all work. So we're gonna just try it all out, see how it functions, and yeah, let's see how it goes. So after my camera died yesterday, I went home and I made the PDF version of the whole list. And I'm gonna put this in the description of this video. I don't know if I know how to do that, but I'm gonna probably try to figure that out. And that is what I'm going off of today. And hopefully I don't have to make too many corrections, but if I do, I'll make those corrections and throw it into the description later. But the first circuit that we're working on, I've broken into 3 sets. So the first set is gonna work on the hurdle and a little bit of the takeoff. And then the second set is going to work on the connection position into the flips and the flips itself. And then the third position, or the third set, is gonna be the come out and entry position. So remember, this first circuit is specifically for fronts. And so the first circuit, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do floor line models. So I'm gonna just do my hurdle up until the apex of my hurdle all the way at the top. And the reason why I'm gonna stop at the apex of my hurdle is because I'm gonna use this same drill for fronts and reverses. And my takeoff position from that apex to the connection position is different for my fronts and reverses. Then the second thing I'm gonna do is Bosu ball knee drives. Unfortunately, here at this gym, we don't have a Bosu ball, but I do have one at the other gym, and that's where I'll probably be doing this list the most. And then the third thing that we have is front drop-ins. So I've got this mat here. I'm gonna stand up all the way at the top with my arms up. I'm gonna jump off, and right after I jump off, I'm gonna try to get my hands all the way through and all the way up at the top into a connection position before I land. So yeah, I'm gonna model that all through, and I'll try to explain a little bit of what I'm trying to feel in this first set of circuit 1. All right, here we go. This is the first skill in set number 1 for circuit number 1. And so I'm gonna do just my normal like dry hurdle that I would, and I've picked a nice straight line because sometimes I feel like I go really crooked in my hurdle, and I just wanna make sure I feel nice and straight on the board. So I start with both my legs together, and everyone's hurdle is a little bit different, but mine usually starts all the way up on my toes. I take 1 step without moving my arms, then I move my arms forward, press, and drive all the way through. So that is going to be the first element of that dryland. It's nice and slow, just thinking through your process, making sure your arms are nice and straight, or however you normally do the skill, just think about doing your hurdle. I feel like a lot of times we just get to practice and just kind of do our skills instead of just thinking about each individual element. So now the next thing, pretend that there's a Bosu ball right in front of me. I actually have a clip from yesterday of me trying this with something that wasn't quite a Bosu ball, so here's the clip. Yeah, it did not really work out. And so I'll just pretend like there's a Bosu ball in front of me, and I'll do it at the gym tomorrow. So the number one thing that I want to think about when I'm doing this Bosu ball drill is pretending that there's a string tied around my pinky and it's connected to my drive knee. You kind of want your knee and your hand to come up at the same time, like there's a string tied between the two. And when I do this, I want to make sure it's nice and quick. I want to be set up at the bottom so I can fully stand up and drive that leg out of it. You want to stand up at the same time as you step down. That's the feeling. So once again, I set and stand up. And that's what I want to feel. Now, the next thing that we do is this final one on this block. And this block is for our jump drop-ins from an up raised height. And so I'm gonna stand up on this mat all the way with my hands up in the air. And then I'm gonna jump off and try to get to that position that I wanna take off in before I land. So I took a little step back, probably because it was the first one I did all day, but I'll show it to you again. Just trying to reach that position right before I land. Nice. All right, so for circuit number 1, set number 2, this one we have to kind of move all over the gym. And if you're doing this, most of those that I did over there could be done in your house or in your hallway or anywhere else. For set number 2, since it's more flipping, I recommend doing certain elements outside. You could probably just bounce on or literally try to jump on grass and stuff like that. But primarily what I'm going to focus on is stuff that resources that I have, like a tumble track and a trampoline. So this is for my 90-90 connections. That's the position I want to feel on my front pike takeoffs. This would be different if I was doing tuck, obviously, but since I'm really focusing, I do mostly pike fronts, so that's what I'm going to work on here. This is a 90-90 bounce, so I'm going to try to put my hands on this mat, and I'm trying to keep my legs as straight as I possibly can when I'm done pushing, so I can drive those hips up into the air. And so this mat's a little bit low for me, but I'm going to try to bounce and see if I can feel that 90-90 position, keeping my back flat and my head in front. Okay, now the hardest part about that is I can't see my position at all because the mirror's a little blocked and I can't see the camera from that far away. So I have no idea if those were proper 90-90 positions, but definitely trying to do that with somebody else watching you. When I go through and actually do the whole circuit for myself after I'm done filming it, I'll move over in so I can see my 90-90 position a little bit better. But at least you see how that drill works. Now let's head over to the other trampoline and do another skill in the set. All right, so over here I'm supposed to be focusing on single bounce 90-90 throw front pike. That's what I'm calling it. So it's gonna be a front flip pike. I'm gonna do one bounce with my arms up over my head, and then I'm gonna try to reach for that 90-90 position. So my feet should just be leaving the trampoline when I am at a 90-degree bend with my chest and my hips, and a 90-degree bend between my arms and my chest. So I'm going to try to do that flip, and maybe I'll slow it down and show you if I hit that position correctly. This is the first one of the day, and I will go through and make sure I do all these correct when I do it for my actual circuit later. Okay, at least you kind of see what I'm supposed to do. I'm short on time, so I'm just going to keep going, but I'll slow it down and try to show you later. Okay, for this next one, I'm going to be doing my 90-90 calf raises and foot pushes. So what this one's supposed to feel is, I'm supposed to feel like I'm in that 90-90 position. I'm just going to lean over like this, seeing my legs are straight, and then I'm just going to push through my legs on my toes and try to feel like my hips are pushing up towards the ceiling while staying in that line. And now the final thing that I want to do in this initial front connection set is in a pike position. I'm going to try to bring my toes up to my chest and to my nose. My pike flexibility is quite terrible, and this is definitely something I want to work on in future videos. But for this drill, I'm going to put my hands right next to my knees, and I'm just going to bring my toes up as high as they go. And I'll do that about 5 to 10 times, and then I will continue with the next set. Okay, so for set number 3, this is gonna work on our come out positions and our entry positions. So the first drill that I wanna work on for the come out position is our pike rollouts. I learned this from Wolverine Diving, my club team, and this is kind of how it looks. So you're gonna start in a pike position on your back, and then you're just gonna move your arms out and roll to the front. Just like that. And I'll repeat that about 2 to 3 times. I'll do one more with straight legs. Just trying to stay into the pike even when you let your arms go out. And then the last thing that we do in this set is our front entry positions. So I call these fast swims. So you're gonna go on your knees just like this, and you're gonna start, you're gonna bring your arms up and then close. Trying to keep a flat palm at the top and straight arms the entire time once you make that full grab and a full lockout. So you wanna keep your chin in a little bit higher than just looking forward. So this is like called neutral plus position. Your arms go up and swim, just like that. Flat arms, flat hands, straight arms, strong swim. Okay, now it's time to do the same thing but for backs. So the first drill that I have in the set number 1 for circuit number 2 is starting with your hands on your hips. We're just doing our squats to feel that hip rotation under and feeling a proper line from my shoulders, hips, and heels for a back takeoff. So this is for your back. Right after your back oscillation, you're pressing down, keeping those hips, feeling them rotate under while trying to keep those legs straight at start. And then you're all the way up on those toes, drop in and feeling that those knees come forward, but feeling those hips drop down in line with those heels. And just feeling this start position. Looking down right in front of you, feeling like you're looking closer from the fulcrum to your toes. So you have that proper head position and just feeling those hips drop in line. These can be slow just to feel that proper positioning. And then the second thing on this set is I'm calling these my hand and knee separation squats. So number one thing that we want to look for in these is we start with our hands above us and we want to feel up on those toes, but you want to feel a separation from when you start your knees to when you fully swing your arms. And then you stand back up. You want to make sure your arms are all the way back at the top before you stand all the way up, but you also want to make sure you start that squat while your arms are all the way up. So do that one more time in slow motion. I'm going to start all the way on my toes. Hands are all the way up. I feel those knees start. I feel my hands come back all the way up, and then I start to push. And so that is going to be the hand-knee separation squats. And those are the 2 first drills that I want to do for the takeoff specifically. Now the next thing in this, moving on to set number 2. So that'll be set number 1. I'll do both of those alternating back and forth for a whole bunch of reps. Then for set number 2, we're actually going to move over to the trampoline. So I'll see you there. Alrighty. So for this one, it's all going to be done on a trampoline. You could obviously just do flips anywhere, but for this one, I'm gonna do, the first thing is straight leg seat drops. So these are really, really easy. But the number one thing I've noticed in some of my diving, especially on my back 2.5 pikes on 3 meter, they're getting a lot better, but sometimes I take off with really bent knees. The same thing with my reverses, so that's why I have this repeating with the reverse drills as well. But to show you guys this really clearly, when I do my seat drops, I'm gonna pick up my legs perfectly straight and land in the pike position on the trampoline with my hands next to my butt. So just watch how my knees stay perfectly straight. I'm oscillating through my toes, and I'm just gonna push through my toes on this. Just like that. So after my knees initially bend to give me that jump off, the second that they straighten out, they stay straight. And that is the most important part of this drill. So I'm oscillating through my toes, I do a small jump, and from there my legs stay perfectly straight the whole time. So that's what I'm gonna do for this one. I'll rep it out a couple times, and then I'll move on to the next skill in the set, which is, in this case, we're doing straight leg backflip pikes. And so it's the same idea as the seat drops, but this time on the backflip pike, we are going to leave our legs perfectly straight after we come off the trampoline. And this skill can be pretty hard to just land on my feet. So I'll try to do it just to my feet. I might actually end up changing this to just 202.5s. Okay, not the best backflip pike. I'll probably change these to 202.5s later in the future, but at least I feel like I probably kept my legs straight. I'll look through these again and keep repping them out throughout my circuits, but it should be perfectly straight-legged backflip pike. Now moving on to the next skill in the set, which is also on the trampoline, it's going to be 200.5 touch and slides. So since these are vols, I really want to show off that dedicated come out position on all of my back pike skills that are easier. And so for this one, I'm gonna do a 200.5, so a back dive pike onto my back. So this one's really quite easy, and I'll show you it now. Trying to keep those legs perfectly straight, hips underneath me, and not trying to overreach with my hands. I hope you saw that touch and then an immediate slide out. On back dives on 1 meter and 3 meter, you want to touch pretty in front of you, closer to the top, but definitely in front of that vertical line. And then you want a strong and fast slide and demonstration of holding that position. just like that. And so I'll do that a couple times and move on to the next set. All right, so for this final set in circuit number 2, we're gonna work on floor pike ups with the proper slide out and grab position for back pikes. And then we're also gonna do back kneeling fast swim. So the same thing we did for front entries, but in the back side. And I'll show you exactly what I look for in those. So the first one that we're doing, these floor pike ups, when I do my pike up, I want to not lift, not round into it so much. I want to feel around under in my hips when I do the dive, but I want to feel a nice tall hip into the motion. So I want to keep my chest tall and then a nice flat back when I go in. Sometimes everybody does their back dives a little bit like rounded in like this. I want to feel that tall slam into that pike. So I'll show you what these pike ups look like, and especially that slide out position. So I start all the way straight and then I pike up and slide. And then once I've done this slide position, I move my toes all the way down so my heels are touching. Then I press up so my butt is a little bit off the ground. And then I slide my hands out around the backside and grab all the way. Looking back there and swim. So I'll show you one more time and a little bit fuller motion of what these should look like. And then I'll do that a couple times and move on to the next skill. For this next one, these are the kneeling back fast swims. So I'm gonna start with my hands on my thighs. I'm gonna start sitting down on my heels. I'm gonna stand up, flat, look back, move my arms up, and swim. When I do the swim, I wanna feel like my back shoulder blades are touching and I'm swimming a little bit back further than I would for my fronts. So that is all circuit number 2. All right, now for reverses, this is circuit number 3. And for the first set, we're starting on the trampoline and we're doing delayed trampoline bounces. So when I do these, I'm just doing straight jumps. And when I do my straight jumps, I wanna actuate my knees to bend first, and then I want my arms to swing pretty much right before I hit the trampoline bed. And then the last thing that I'll do is the 2 bounce back dives to my back, the same thing I did for backs, but with some jumps to feel that reverses, and I wanna keep those hips under. Now I'll show you the bounces. So these are the delayed swings. So I'll do a couple of regular bounces first. Now I start the knees, late swing, knees, late swing, knees, late swing, knees, late swing, knees, late swing. And I'll do that a whole bunch of times. Those are not my best reps, but at least you see how it kind of works. You want to feel the knees first, then the late swing. Making sure that chest stays in line. Those are a little wobbly. Then the last ones are my 2 bounce back dive pike slide outs. Same thing as what I did on those back dives. Early touch, strong slide out. And I'll do one more to show it to you guys again. 1, 2, hips under, early slide out. Okay, now what you would do is repeat circuit number 2, set number 2 and 3, I believe. Yep. And then now I'll move on to inwards. All right, for the final circuit, working on these inwards, the first thing that we do is floor inward models. And for these inward models, the number one thing that we want to work on is keeping up on our toes the whole time, proper balance, and the difference between these and the back squats are when we start our hands from the top, we actually want the knees to come first with the hips under, the same as that, but then we want our fingertips to come down the front first. So we kind of want our fingertips to come through the midline before our elbows do. So if you watch this, I'll do it in really slow motion so you can see me actuate the lower half first, then my hands drop and drive, and I come all the way through, stopping right at the forehead. Then I'll throw and squat back up. So now I'll do it one more time. Fully raise up on those toes, drop in, and throw. I would keep doing this for multiple sets, making sure I get deeper in that squat, doing it a little bit faster so I feel that motion, how it would be on the board, but that's pretty much what I think about when I do those initial squats. Then the next thing in the set is foot push directions. So On inwards, the number one thing that we get that direction from, since we're leaning forward on that board, although the board will push you back some, to get that proper direction every single time, I'm just going to feel like I'm in that squat with my hands on my hips, and I'm just gonna feel just the slightest bit of pushing down and into the board on the front side. Just like how my fingers are pointing, I'm gonna push just like that through my toes. I'm gonna squat in from the top, drop in line, and feel that push. Just like that. And I'm gonna do that probably 3 or 4 times just to feel that drop in and that push. Just like that. Now that chest position isn't ideal for exactly how we want the inwards, but it's over exaggerating that push direction. So when I'm doing it in the water, I feel that element of it. So that's the whole circuit for circuits 1 through 4, fronts, backs, reverses, and inwards. And I would repeat sets number 2 and 3 of the first circuit for these inwards as well, same as the fronts. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do all of these circuits again for myself for probably the next 30 minutes here, but then I'm gonna head to the water and do all these walls in the water. So we'll see how it goes. All right, what's up, squad? It was a good practice, we did great, but my camera died, so no videos of that, but it was good practice, so we'll see you in the next clip.